Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's Point Counterpoint. I am Dr. Barrett, and I'm here today with Dr. Tanya Paynter, and we are going to talk a little bit about different perspectives on meditation. So, of course, I'm an MD. Dr. P is an ND, a naturopath, and we like to talk about the differences that our respective training brings to topics that are important to people with migraine. So, Dr. P, thanks for being here today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we are going to talk a little bit about the benefits of meditation and why it is that meditation helps for people with chronic pain. So one of my favorite analogies that I like to use to explain this is that the brain is like a symphony. Okay, lots of different pieces working together, each part kind of doing their own thing, but a lot of crosstalk and working together to make something beautiful. And what happens in chronic pain is that we know that the conductor parts of the brain have atrophied over time and they start under functioning and stop functioning. So the conductor parts of the brain are up here. They're in the front. They're in the frontal lobes. For those of you who are neuroscience geeks, that's the anterior cingulate, the prefrontal cortex, the insula. Those parts of the brain are what we're talking about. And so what functional MRI has shown us is that when people have chronic pain from headaches, those conductor parts of the brain stop firing. It's as if the conductor has gone out to dinner and is no longer there. And so the other parts of the brain are not coordinated together. So for example, the pain centers of the brain are overfiring. Maybe the emotional centers of the brain are overfiring. Maybe your capacity to regulate and integrate is underfiring. Does that ring a bell? Because you know what I mean? Like if you stub your toe during a time when you are already upset about something, it hurts 10 times worse, right? And then if you stub your toe during a time when you're having a great day, nothing could get you. It's like, whatever. So we know that our emotional and intellectual processing of pain plays a role in how the pain impacts us, right? And so what I mean when I say that those conductor parts have gone offline, which have been confirmed with functional MRI, I am actually describing this as a fixable situation. Now that we know what the problem is, it's so much easier to figure out how to fix it. And it turns out that meditation is the most powerful way to turn those frontal lobe circuits back on. It's like the conductor is coming back from the dinner out, right?
We're hiring a new conductor here.
We're hiring a new one. Yeah. Dude, why'd you leave? Yeah. So it's as if these frontal lobes come back online. So when we meditate, we know that we're activating a part of the brain called the insula. In particular, that one consistently lights up no matter what type of meditation you're doing. And when that insula starts to fire, all those other frontal circuits fire reflexively. They're circuits. They go together. You press one lever, the whole system fires. And so once those systems start to fire together, they wire together, those parts of the brain become larger, and then you are walking around in a brain with normal pain pathways again as a direct result of conscious activities that you did. So this is one of the most fascinating things that functional MRI has told us about what's going on in the brains of people with chronic migraines, and also a direct pathway to improve the situation. Now, not all types of meditation work the same. Some work better than others, which is also fascinating. So you want to make sure that you are learning the right things. So, Dr. P, I am curious, what is your perspective on meditation and chronic migraine?
Well, here's another one where we don't differ. It's such a wonderful tool. And in fact, a lot of my clients have told me I do a lot with breathing. So we do kind of breathing meditations, but any meditation is going to get you into, increased oxygen and just better breathing patterns anyway. So really that part probably doesn't matter which of those types you choose, but I've had so many clients tell me I breathed I breathed my migraine away. Like I did not think that was possible, but I actually like I did this meditation and my migraine went away and it never came back. So, it's just such a huge win to hear those stories that are backed up by the research that we show. Now, I find it interesting that you mentioned that the different types of meditation are important. And that's kind of the point that I want to hit on a little bit. I have been doing a lot of digging into the role that spirituality plays in chronic pain, migraine in particular, but chronic pain in general. And there's actually study after study after study that shows that meditation is better than no meditation, secular meditation, right? Like the sun is shining warm on my body and it feels so good, right? Like a secular thing. That is better than no meditation, but a spiritual based meditation, whether it's a prayer based or it's, a Bible verse or a verse from whichever, religious book you follow, when you're meditating on that, or you're connecting to something larger than yourself in a spiritual way, that is actually a better meditation than the secular meditation. And there have been multiple studies that have shown that you get increased mood, decreased depression, decreased anxiety, increased or decreased blood pressure, decreased cardiovascular risk, increased longevity in life, overall feeling of well-being. Like all of these amazing things happen when you are engaged in a regular spiritual practice or spiritual meditation in this case. So when Dr. Barrett mentions, that the type of meditation matters, and maybe you have, research on some other stuff. I've seen research on breathing. So I love to incorporate a breath meditation in combination with like a Bible mantra or, something, a prayer or something like that. Because then you're kind of almost getting the best of all worlds combined. Did you find another specific type of meditation that works well from what you've seen in the studies, Dr. Barrett?
Yeah, so it's meditations that focus on the body. And I would imagine that what you're doing with the breathing meditation is body focused. For example, maybe you are watching, closing your eyes and watching the breath come in through the tip of your nose, watching it ascend up to the bridge of your nose, and then on the exhale, watching it go back down. That is an example of a body-based meditation. So I just fired my insula because I was having my brain pay attention to my body. The insula is responsible for what we call interoception, the perception of your own body. And those are the types of meditation that have a very powerful physiological effect on the body. And I love what you bring in about spirituality as well. I think that is an area that we're almost afraid to talk about, but it's a very powerful part of the brain. Our brain is not like other organs. It exists at the level of the mind as well as the body. And we can't forget that when we're healing, we are healing at both levels.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's great. And I would love to incorporate more of that in my own life.
Wouldn't we all?
That's what I preach over here.
Yeah. Oh, we all need it, right? All right. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I feel like I should say namaste.
Amen.
There we go. All right. Take care, everybody. We will see you next week. If there is anything you'd like for us to discuss, please drop that on in one of the comments. We do look at those, and that helps us determine future topics. There's some very interesting things we could go over and explore from both the medical doctor and naturopathic doctor perspectives that will give all of you lots of tools to help make your headaches better. All right. Take care, everybody.